welcome back. Annabelle is very different in real life from the Annabelle of the movies. She is a Raggedy Ann doll, so she's not as creepy looking as the one in the movies. Yeah, so she's a lot nicer looking actually than the one in the movies, because yeah, it's pretty creepy. The doll in real life was given to a nurse. I think her name was Donna. I saw 2 sources that said her name was Donna, and then other places didn't even name her at all. So she actually lived with another nurse, so quite often throughout the story it's always the nurse is this, one, you know, so we don't really know, but I'm going to call her Donna, the one who actually received the doll. So her mum got her for her in 1970. And it is said that her mum actually got her from a second-hand shop. So it wasn't really long before the doll started showing her true colours. The first things that I noticed, there'd be quite like small things at first. Well, this isn't small, but Donna would go out, she'd leave her on the sofa, for example, she'd go out and she'd come back and she'd be in her bedroom, which isn't really a small thing that makes you think, huh. It's quite a big thing for her to move from one place to another. I don't know if Donna was starting, like, Donna thought, I'm going to put this to the test, because it just said that she left her legs uncrossed and then when she came home they were crossed. I feel like that's something you'd do on purpose. Like, you'd be like, right, this is how I'm leaving the doll. I'm going to sit her like this. Her legs are uncrossed. So when you come back, when you then see them crossed, you're like, they were not like that when I left, because I purposefully uncrossed them, you know? And I kind of feel like the doll was like, I know what you're doing, and I'm going to prove you right. But then things really amped up. They came home one day, so they being the nurses, Donna and whoever she lived with, came home one day and there was like, it says parchment paper. I'm guessing that's like baking paper for us UK folk, you know, the kind of greaseproof paper, possibly. No, it's not really greaseproof, is it? Whatever. That you put down on a baking sheet, whatever. Anyway, so there was parchment paper just strewn all over the apartment, and written all over it was, "Help me." Creepy, written in crayon. Now, this is very creepy, obviously, on its own, but also adding to that, the nurses didn't even own parchment paper. Where did she get it from then? Was it even her, you know? I mean, was it even the doll that did this? I mean, poor doll, she gets blamed for these things, but how do we know it was her? Kind of feels to me like the nurses were more intrigued by the doll rather than scared by the things that were happening. So one of the nurses, I don't know if that was Donna or her friend, but they thought that Annabelle, sorry, she wasn't Annabelle yet, thought that the doll was trying to communicate with them. And it was when they were eating breakfast one morning and the doll's arms just moved on top of the table. I imagine it was just like this, you know? So, what you doing? And it was after that that the girls were like, to be fair, it doesn't even say that the other nurse was a girl. So it was after then that the nurses called a psychic. So the psychic didn't waste any time. They came around really quickly. They held a seance. The psychic claimed that she sensed the spirit of a girl who was 6 or 7 years old. She was killed in a car accident outside the apartment complex that they lived in. And her name was, you guessed it, Sophie. No, it was Annabelle. The nurses took a strange approach, rather than being, maybe they probably were freaked out, I mean, you would be, wouldn't you? But rather than being seemingly just straight up like, nope, not dealing with this, take her away, whatever. They started treating her like a human because she was, I was gonna say possessed, but like haunted by a human spirit. So they started treating her as such. And this actually worked for quite a while. I guess Annabelle was finally getting the respect that she deserved and wanted. So yeah, maybe they started treating her just like this little sister or daughter or whatever. So yes, it all was going well until a man entered and ruined everything. His name was Lou. He was actually the boyfriend of one of the nurses. He, one evening, came round to stay the night. He was sleeping on the sofa. Sorry, it wasn't a boyfriend, it was a fiancé. He was sleeping on the sofa. I'm guessing they only had single beds, because why would your fiancé sleep on the sofa? But anyway, so he was sleeping on the sofa, and then Annabelle was sitting at the end of the sofa. A, weird. B, weird. He woke up in a sweat. He claims to have had a nightmare of the doll crawling up his legs, all the way up his body, getting to his neck and trying to strangle him to death. He was furious about this. When he woke, I don't know why I guess he was just in that state of like, I can't believe she did this to me. And then picked up Annabelle, launched her across the apartment, poor little raggedy doll, and then just starts talking smack to her, you know, saying things like, you're just a doll, you can't hurt me. Doesn't say he actually spat on her, but that is basically how he spoke to her. When he, apparently, this is according to like the psychics or whatever, when he threw Annabelle across the room, it unleashed something in her. It unleashed this demonic force. She was pissed off. No one throws Annabelle and gets away with it. We have 4 slash marks on his chest and 3 on his stomach. They were said to look like either like claw marks or a scalpel incisions. Clearly, Annabelle didn't like this fool very much. You know, she lived in harmony with her 2 girls for all this time, and then a man comes in and bam, ruins everything. I mean, he did throw her across the room, so it's kind of like, I don't really blame Annabelle at this point, because if someone threw me across the room and I had the power to be a demon, I'd choose to use it. So it seemed like the spirit may not be just an innocent 6-year-old girl after all. Just took a quick look, a quick research, because I was then like, wait, I didn't actually find out who it was that was possessing Annabelle. I don't know how reliable these sources are, obviously, but also this bit says it was written on parchment paper, written in blood, asking for help, not crayon. I'm going to read you a little bit I found here. So it says, they contacted a medium, the nurses contacted a medium. They found out that a young girl who died at age 7 on the same property was asking permission to enter the doll. The spirit was named Annabelle Higgins. She said she wanted to stay with them and be loved, so the girls gave it permission. But that was when they then found out, after all of this goings on, that it wasn't the child spirit that entered the doll, it was a demon looking for a human host or something. So anyway, sorry, I just wanted to clarify that little bit, because I was sitting here like, I never got an answer for that. So, but then other people are like, Annabelle is never possessed. So someone says, Annabelle is never possessed by anything. The devil, to escape, uses the doll as its vessel until it finds a new vessel, which is the human body. So the devil, or whoever it is basically using Annabelle as a, stopgap like, I'm just going to hitch a ride onto you, and then I'm going to find a human to possess. The nurses then go on to contact an episcopal priest. I had to look up what this was and why they specified it. It's just basically a priest from an Anglican church, I think. I don't know why that's relevant. But they basically contacted a priest. The priest was like, this is way above my pay grade, so I'm going to refer you to the Warrens. These people are actually in the movies. It's Ed and Lorraine. I'm surprised I remembered that. So it's Ed and Lorraine that's not easy to say, is it? Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed and Lorraine Warren. They are experts on exorcism and demonology. And they come in and they're like, damn, we're going to have to perform an exorcism on this house. So they get a priest to do it. Ed then took the doll away and popped her in the back of his car, and while she was in the car on his way away from the apartment, he experienced some car trouble, so obviously she was playing a little game there as well. This also actually happens in Annabelle Comes Home, the movie. So Ed and Lorraine were in the Annabelle movies, and they were also in The Nun as well, so it's quite cool that they actually appear in the movies. I feel like we're kind of missing a bit, but I guess he takes her away, and I don't know what else happens, but she is basically now living in a glass box in the Occult Museum. Where is the Occult Museum? I was supposed to look that up. Ah, okay. So the Occult Museum is owned by the Warrens. Wow. Apparently it's a song by Ed and Lorraine Warren. Oh, so update. The museum closed in 2019 after Lorraine Warren's death. I just wanted to know what happened to Annabelle after the museum closed. Apparently she's still there, but it's not actually open. So that is the story of Annabelle. Maybe I'll do another video showing the kind of comparisons with the Annabelle of the movies and the Annabelle in real life. I know people hate it when people apologise for their looks, but I need to wash my hair, I'm greasy, and that's that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. Stay safe. If anyone gives you a doll, throw it in the river and forget about it. Thanks.